Hi folks, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Tony. Okay, for this episode, we're going to make some homemade chicken dog food for Maxx, who has kidney disease. Okay, with my 4 pounds of chicken now, we want to fill up our pot like 2/3 of the way with water. Now also, once we get this filled up, we want to use the equivalent amount of peas and carrots. I use peas and carrots bags and I cook them in the microwave till they're cooked for 5 minutes, and then I get ready to put them in the pot, and I will equivalent the weight to 5 pounds. No, the avocado and tomato don't go with it. Anyways, as you add your vegetables to your pot with your chicken, you want to bring that to a boil, as you see right here. Next, after you get it boiling, in this episode you'll see me put a aluminum foil on top of it to redirect and vent the steam coming out. During this time, as it's boiling in the pot, I let the stock reduce to 1/3 its size. It has been 2 hours and 40 minutes, and this was a 3-hour boiling time. And 20 minutes before it's ready, I want to add my rice, because it takes 20 minutes to cook rice. So I add 1.5 cups of rice into the pot and fold it in, as you can see. You can also see how the meat is ready to fall off and come off the bones, and all the flavors are boiled out of there, so it's just delicious and very nutritious. Okay, this is 20 minutes later. As you can see, the stock is boiled out and absorbed pretty much, so it's now time to separate the juice from the rest of the fixings and everything in there, and the chicken. Look at how cooked that is and perfect that is. The peas are soft, the carrots are soft, and I use a colander and a big old bowl to separate it all. Once I get it all in there, I will add the juice into a measuring cup. This was actually 3 cups of stock that I had left, and this is very concentrated, very rich, very healthy chicken stock. The healing from when you're sick, grandma's secret recipe there. Now as you peel, you want to make sure you're not getting any bones or cartilage. It's real easy with drumsticks to get cartilage in there. There's only 2 bones, but the cartilage will break up into little pieces, and for small dogs that could be a choking hazard. And as you do this, there's that little bone you just saw me pick out. It's about the size of a toothpick. You also want to take and discard the skin. And as we let the stock cool, it will create a film on the top with that grease, so you'll want to remove that grease before we do anything else to it. Now, after you pick everything and get it all perfect, you want to squeeze and with your hands and just mash that all up. And a dog with kidney disease and everything, it makes it hard to digest solid foods, so we're just going to smush that up and give it a little help and make him all better. I just finished scooping off the excess fat on the top of that, and we're going to add that back into the fixings and fold them in. When you boil it, all the moisture is removed from your meat and all your vegetables, and it's very dry. And while you're picking it, it's going to be very dry. But once you add that back in, it absorbs it like a sponge. As you see this is like beautiful looking chicken dinner dog food. Just look at that, how nice and juicy, and the texture and just everything about it. Easy to digest. That's better than any canned dog food you're ever going to come across. And it's healthy and very nutritious for your dog. So once you can do that, it's time to portion it up. I got these little 1 cup containers, and I measure out 1.5, well, maybe a smidgen more than 1.5, as you see, for Max, and each one I give per meal. So he gets 2 of those small containers a day. Those big ones are 2 cup containers, and those will do 3-4 meals and stuff. I'll take and I'll heat it up in the microwave for 30 seconds with a full container, not more than 20 with a half. You also want to check it to make sure it's not hot. As you can see, Max just loves it. He gobbles it up. Unlike the other canned dog food, he'll sniff around and then kind of like, because he's hungry, eat it and stuff. And he just gobbles it up. You may want to, towards the end, help him, because the peas that like to get stuck along the side of the bowl, and with him and his 2 teeth, it's kind of hard for him to get it, so I kind of like help scoop up the final bites. Thank you again once for watching, and God bless. With the recipe we're about to see, this was like my 3rd batch, and I was working on perfecting it, and I've worked out a lot of kinks at that time. However, since then I've modified and made some changes, and I just wanted to take a moment and share those with you before we get into the main do it video. So first, I was using chicken drumsticks, and I was getting 4.5 pound packages, and they worked good, but cleaning them was a nightmare. Not the bones, because you get 2 bones, but the gristle that is in it. It breaks up into little pieces, and it can be very dangerous for small dogs, a choking hazard and stuff, especially if they have no teeth. So I've modified the chicken. Instead of using chicken drums, I now use leg quarters. I just buy a 10-pound bag of chicken leg quarters at your local Walmart, and just take 5 pounds of that and throw it right into your big old pot and fill that thing up with 2/3 of the way full of water. Another thing I modified and changed is where I left it and I had the aluminum on top venting, so it would change the direction of the steam, so it wasn't just going up into the vent and under my covers and stuff. And I reduced it like 2/3, or as you can see in the video, I really reduced it to as I was venting this, I was letting it reduce to 2/3 the amount that it normally was, and this left 3 cups of juice afterwards. This is something else I've modified too. Instead of venting it as much as I did, I just have a little teeny vent on the top of it, just enough so it keeps and prevents the chicken from boiling over, foaming, and all that stuff. So you want to cover up like most of it and just leave a nice good vent hole to let the steam out. Now with this, I end up with more stock, and with the stock I use this throughout the day as nutrients without substance. But for dogs with kidney disease and that, since they have a hard time digesting, I use just a little bit of the broth with all the nutrients that you've incorporated in it from boiling everything out of the bones and all of the whole vegetables and that, as a way to give your pet who can't really eat a lot substance. It really worked good for Max when he was really sick, and since then I kind of give it to him 3 times a day, just little splashes straight out of the refrigerator. He loves it cold and he drinks it up, and I know he's getting those extra nutrients from that chicken stock that's left over. And if you have any chicken stock and you do that, you do not want to keep it past 7 days shelf life in your refrigerator. So if you have more than 7 days, you'll want to freeze it. With your chicken, once you've portioned it out, you can leave enough out for 3 days, 4 days, and then you'll want to freeze the rest and then take it out as you need it. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you like it, please hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to keep up to date for new stuff. And once again, I'd like to thank you for watching another episode of Cooking with Tony, and God bless.